In the year 2345, the galaxy was a vast and complex place. Many different species lived across the stars, each with its own culture and way of life. Most of these species had learned to live in peace, sharing resources and knowledge. But humanity was different. Earth, once a small planet in the corner of the galaxy, had suddenly grown into a powerful force. Humans had expanded beyond their home planet, exploring the stars and settling on new worlds. Their rapid progress caught the attention of the rest of the galaxy, and not in a good way. On a quiet morning, President Maria Alvarez stood in the command center of Earth's central government. She was looking out at a map of the stars, deep in thought. Humanity had been peaceful for decades, focusing on exploration, science, and growth. But she had a feeling something was about to change. Her feeling was right. That afternoon, an emergency broadcast echoed across every screen on Earth. It was a message from the Union of Intergalactic Species, an alliance of the most powerful alien species in the galaxy. The message was clear and direct. The Union has declared war on humanity. You have threatened the peace of the galaxy with your expansion and your interference in galactic affairs. This is a warning. Prepare yourselves. The broadcast ended, leaving Earth in stunned silence. For a moment, no one knew how to react. The news spread quickly. People in cities, homes, and workplaces stopped what they were doing, staring at the screens in disbelief. How could this happen? Why would the peaceful species of the galaxy suddenly turn against them? Maria Alvarez quickly gathered her closest advisors. Her team of generals, scientists, and diplomats worked day and night to understand what had just happened. They analyzed the message, trying to find any signs of a misunderstanding. But it was clear. The galaxy's most powerful species had united against Earth. The reasons for the war were complex. Some believed that humanity's rapid growth was a threat to the established order of the galaxy. Others feared that humans, with their unique abilities and ambitions, could disrupt the balance of power. Whatever the reason, the war had begun. As Earth's leaders scrambled to prepare for the coming conflict, they received more troubling news. A fleet of ships, led by the Raytherians, a species known for their advanced technology, was already on its way to Earth. The Raytherians had long been one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy. Their ships were large, fast, and nearly invincible. Earth had never faced anything like this before. President Alvarez and her team worked quickly. They knew that humanity's military forces were no match for the Raytherian fleet. They didn't have the advanced weapons or ships that the aliens had. But they also knew one thing. Humanity had something the galaxy had never seen before, a spirit of determination and innovation that could not be defeated easily. "We have to find a way to fight back," Alvarez said, her voice steady but filled with urgency. "Our people will not go down without a fight." As the days passed, the situation grew more desperate. The Raytherian fleet drew closer and Earth had no real defense against it. There were whispers among the military leaders that the only way to survive was to surrender, to accept the fate that the galaxy had chosen for them. But Alvarez refused to give in. Then, in the middle of the crisis, a breakthrough came. One of Earth's top scientists, Dr. Elena Reyes, discovered something strange. Hidden deep within the archives of the old government buildings, she found an ancient device, an artifact from a long-forgotten time. No one knew where it had come from or how it worked, but Dr. Reyes believed it could hold the key to saving humanity. The artifact was small, about the size of a football, but it radiated a strange energy. Dr. Reyes couldn't explain it, but she knew that this was no ordinary object. It was powerful, ancient, and had the potential to change everything. Alvarez immediately ordered the artifact to be studied and unlocked. The best minds on Earth worked day and night to understand its secrets. They quickly realized that it was not just a piece of technology, it was a weapon unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. As Earth scientists began to understand the artifact's power, Alvarez made a bold decision. She would not sit and wait for the Retherians to destroy Earth. Instead, she would use this mysterious power to defend humanity and send a message to the galaxy. Humans would not be so easily defeated. And so, with the Retherian fleet still on its way, Earth's leaders prepared for the first strike of their own. The future of humanity was uncertain, but they had something the galaxy had underestimated: hope, courage, and the will to fight for survival. As the days passed, the fear on Earth grew. The Retherian fleet was getting closer. Humanity had never faced a threat like this. The aliens were powerful, and Earth had no way of defending itself. President Maria Alvarez stood in the war room with her advisors, feeling the weight of the situation on her shoulders. Every decision she made now would shape the future of humanity. President Alvarez, General Keith Mendoza said, his voice steady but filled with concern, "The Retherian fleet will reach Earth in less than 72 hours. We need to prepare for the worst." Maria nodded, her eyes focused on the screen in front of her. The image showed a fleet of massive ships heading straight for Earth. These ships were equipped with advanced weapons, laser beams, plasma cannons, and shields that could withstand any attack. Earth had nothing that could match the power of the Retherians. But Maria refused to give up. She knew that surrendering was not an option. Humanity had come too far, fought too hard, and sacrificed too much to simply accept defeat. There had to be another way. "Keep studying the artifact," she ordered. "We don't have much time, but I believe it holds the key to our survival. If it works as we think it does, we might just have a chance." Dr. Elena Reyes, the scientist who had discovered the mysterious artifact, had been working nonstop. She had spent countless hours analyzing it, trying to understand how it functioned. The more she studied it, the more she realized that the artifact was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. It wasn't just a piece of technology. It was a source of unimaginable energy, capable of reshaping the laws of physics itself. "President Alvarez, we have some new data," Dr. Reyes said, entering the war room. She was tired but determined. "I believe the artifact can generate an energy shield strong enough to protect Earth. It will take time to fully activate, but we may be able to use it as our first line of defense." Maria's heart raced. A shield. Could it really be possible? If they could harness the artifact's power, they might have a chance to defend Earth. But there was one problem. The Retherians were getting closer by the hour. They didn't have the luxury of time. "We need to move quickly," Alvarez said. "How long until we can use the artifact's energy?" Dr. Reyes looked at the data on her tablet. "If we focus all of our resources, we could have the shield operational in 48 hours. But that's cutting it close. If the Retherians attack before then, we'll be vulnerable." Maria didn't hesitate. "Then we work around the clock. I want every scientist, every engineer, every soldier focused on getting that shield up. We'll do whatever it takes." The next 2 days were a blur of activity. Scientists worked tirelessly to unlock the full potential of the artifact. Engineers began building the infrastructure needed to channel its energy, while military leaders began preparing Earth's defenses for the worst-case scenario. The world was in chaos, but the people of Earth had one thing the galaxy had never seen: a sense of unity and determination that could not be shaken. In every corner of the planet, people came together. Soldiers trained harder, civilians volunteered, and scientists made breakthroughs. Earth's military had never been as united as it was now. President Alvarez inspired them all with her calm and decisive leadership. She refused to let fear control them. "We fight for our future," she told the people. "We fight for our children. We fight for the world we've built, and we will not let anyone take that from us." As the final hours ticked away, Earth's scientists finally completed the energy shield. It wasn't perfect. There were still a few bugs to work out, but it was operational. The shield would cover the planet in a protective layer of energy, blocking incoming attacks and allowing humanity a chance to fight back. The moment of truth arrived. The Retherian fleet, now only hours away, began to fire warning shots at Earth. The blasts were so powerful that they could have easily destroyed entire cities, but the energy shield held strong. The blasts bounced off harmlessly, leaving no damage. Maria and her team watched from the command center as Earth's defense system activated. "It's working," General Mendoza said, his voice filled with disbelief. "The shield is holding." But they knew that this was only the first step. The shield had bought them time, but they would need more than just defense to win the war. The Ratherians were not going to retreat so easily. They would return with greater force. Humanity would have to fight back, and they would need to find a way to turn the tide of this war in their favor. Maria turned to Dr. Reyes. "What's our next move?" "We've only scratched the surface of the artifact's potential," Dr. Reyes replied. "It's more than just a shield. There may be other abilities we haven't discovered yet. We need to unlock its full power, and fast." Maria nodded, determination in her eyes. "Then let's find out what else it can do. We have a galaxy to save." The Ratherian fleet arrived in Earth's orbit like a storm. Their massive warships, dark and metallic, hovered over the planet, their weapons glowing with energy. Humanity had seen alien ships before, but never anything like this. These were designed for war, cold, efficient, and powerful. President Maria Alvarez stood in Earth's central command center, her eyes fixed on the giant screens showing the enemy fleet. Scientists, military leaders, and engineers stood around her, waiting for orders. The energy shield was holding, but for how long? No one knew. A deep voice suddenly echoed across all communication channels. It was the Ratherian High Commander, Vorakal. His reptilian face appeared on the screen, his yellow eyes burning with confidence. "Humans, lower your defenses. Surrender now, and we will allow some of you to live. Resist, and you will be destroyed." Maria didn't even blink. She stepped forward and responded, her voice calm but firm. "This is President Maria Alvarez of Earth. We will not surrender. If you want this planet, you'll have to fight for it." Vorakal smirked. "Then you have chosen destruction." The Ratherian ships began their attack. Streams of energy blasts rained down on Earth, aimed at major cities and military bases. But as soon as they hit the shield, they bounced off, exploding harmlessly in the sky. The shield shimmered, absorbing the powerful blasts like a silent guardian. The people of Earth held their breath. This was the first real test of the artifact's power. Would it hold? Inside the command center, Dr. Alina Reyes watched the energy levels on her monitor. "The shield is stable," she announced. "It's absorbing the attacks without losing strength." A wave of relief spread through the room. The artifact's energy was stronger than they had hoped. But Maria knew this was only the beginning. The Ratherians paused their attack, confused. Their weapons were some of the most advanced in the galaxy. Nothing should have been able to withstand them so easily. Vorakal's expression darkened. "Increase power. Fire everything." A second wave of attacks came, this time even stronger. The skies over Earth lit up as the Ratherians unleashed their full arsenal. But again, the shield held firm. The blasts vanished like raindrops hitting an invisible wall. Earth was untouchable. For the first time in history, an advanced alien species had attacked humanity, and failed. Inside the Ratherian command ship, panic spread among the officers. They had expected an easy victory. Instead, they were wasting energy on a battle they couldn't win. Vorakal slammed his fist against the control panel. "This is impossible. No species has ever resisted us like this." Back on Earth, Maria knew this was her moment. The shield had given them an advantage, but it wasn't enough. They needed to send a message that humanity was not weak. She turned to General Mendoza. "It's time to strike back." Mendoza nodded. "We have developed a way to use the artifact's energy offensively. If we channel it through our satellites, we can fire an energy pulse at their fleet." Maria's eyes narrowed. "Will it destroy them?" "No," Mendoza said, "but it will disable their ships, at least temporarily." Maria took a deep breath. "Do it." Dr. Rice activated the system. High above Earth, the satellites powered up, absorbing energy from the artifact. A moment later, a massive energy pulse shot out from Earth's defense network. The wave of golden light spread through space, reaching the Retherian fleet within seconds. One by one, the alien warships shut down. Their weapons, engines, and shields powered off, leaving them floating in space, completely defenseless. On Earth, cheers erupted. Scientists and soldiers hugged each other. Civilians watching from their homes celebrated. Humanity had done the impossible. They had stopped the most powerful fleet in the galaxy without firing a single missile. In the Retherian command ship, chaos broke out. Officers shouted in confusion. Vorakul gritted his teeth, realizing that they had underestimated Earth. "This is not over," he growled. "Retreat for now. We will return." With their ships disabled, the Retherians had no choice. They sent a distress signal to their allies, requesting assistance. But many alien species, after seeing Earth's mysterious power, hesitated. They had expected humanity to be weak, but now they saw something different. Maria watched the enemy fleet begin to drift away. She turned to her team. "We won today, but this is only the beginning. They will come back. And next time, we need to be ready." Dr. Rice looked at the artifact, still glowing with energy. "We still don't know its full potential," she said. "There's more to uncover." Maria nodded. "Then we'll unlock its secrets. We are no longer just defending ourselves. We're shaping the future of this galaxy." For the first time, humanity was no longer just another species in the galaxy. They were something more, something the universe had never seen before. And this was only the beginning. The Retherian fleet had retreated, but Earth knew this was only a temporary victory. The galaxy had just witnessed something incredible. Humanity, a species once considered weak and primitive, had stopped the most powerful military force without firing a single bullet. Now, the whole universe was watching. Inside the Central Command Center, President Maria Alvarez stood with her top advisors, staring at the holographic display of the solar system. The enemy had pulled back, but their retreat wasn't a surrender. They were regrouping, preparing for another attack. General Keith Mendoza crossed his arms. "They'll come back with stronger weapons. We can't rely on the shield forever." Maria nodded. "Agreed. We need to take the next step. Dr. Rice, what else have you learned about the artifact?" Dr. Alina Rice looked up from her research console. She had spent the last several hours studying the artifact, searching for more secrets hidden within its glowing structure. "This device is more than just a shield generator," she said. "It holds an energy source beyond anything we've seen before. If we can fully unlock its potential, we might be able to create new weapons, stronger defenses, maybe even space travel far beyond our current limits." Maria listened carefully. The artifact had saved Earth once. But was it enough to stop the full force of the galactic powers if they united against humanity? "How much more time do you need to understand it?" Maria asked. Dr. Rice hesitated. "It could take months to fully decode, but there is something unusual. I believe this artifact is not human-made." The room fell silent. "What do you mean?" Mendoza asked. Dr. Rice zoomed in on a section of the artifact's surface. Strange symbols covered it, patterns and markings unlike anything found on Earth. "This technology is far older than anything we've ever encountered," Dr. Rice continued. "It predates human civilization. Someone, or something, left it here long before we discovered it." Maria's mind raced. If the artifact came from another civilization, then two questions needed answers. Who created it? And why did they leave it on Earth? Before she could speak, an alert sounded through the command center. A communication request was coming in from an unknown source. "Who is it?" Maria asked. The officer at the communication desk looked nervous. "We don't know, ma'am. It's not coming from the Retherians or any known species." Maria exchanged glances with Mendoza and Rice. "Put it through." The screen flickered, and an image appeared. An alien unlike any they had seen before. Its body shimmered like liquid metal, its eyes glowing with a soft golden light. When it spoke, its voice was calm but filled with authority. "You have awakened the artifact," the alien said. "And now, the true test begins." Maria stood firm. "Who are you?" "I am Cyrus, a watcher of the Ancient Ones," the being replied. "The artifact you possess is not a weapon of destruction. It is a key to unlocking knowledge and power beyond your imagination." Mendoza frowned. "A key to what?" Cyrus paused, as if choosing its words carefully. "A hidden force sleeps beneath the surface of your world. It has remained undisturbed for thousands of years. But now, with the artifact activated, that force is waking up." Maria's heartbeat quickened. "What kind of force?" "The kind that can change the fate of your species," Cyrus said. "But be warned, once the path is opened, there is no turning back." The screen flickered, and the transmission ended. The room was silent for a long moment. Finally, Mendoza spoke. "What do we do now?" Maria turned to Dr. Reyes. "Can we track where that message came from?" Dr. Reyes shook her head. "It was highly encrypted. I don't think it came from anywhere nearby. If I had to guess, Cyrus is far beyond our reach." Maria exhaled slowly. "Then our only choice is to follow the clues ourselves." She turned back to the artifact, its soft glow reflecting in her eyes. The Wraitharians were not the only danger. There was something much bigger at play, something hidden beneath the surface of Earth, waiting to be discovered. And whatever it was about to wake up. The news of the mysterious message from Cyrus spread quickly through Earth's leadership. The strange alien had warned them of a hidden force sleeping beneath the surface of the planet, a force that could change the fate of humanity. But where was it? And what was this ancient power Cyrus had spoken of? President Maria Alvarez stood at the center of the command room, staring at the image of Earth displayed on the large screens. She felt the weight of the situation pressing down on her. The Wraitharians weren't their only concern anymore. There was something far deeper and more powerful, something ancient. General Keith Mendoza was pacing back and forth, his face tense. "We need answers. The longer we wait, the more dangerous this unknown force becomes." Maria nodded. "I agree. Dr. Reyes, is there anything in your research on the artifact that could point to where this force might be located?" Dr. Elena Reyes stared at the artifact, still resting on the table. "I've been examining the energy patterns and the artifact's readings. It's possible that the force Cyrus referred to is linked to the artifact itself. If I can unlock more of its secrets, I might be able to pinpoint its location." Maria's heart raced. Every answer they uncovered seemed to lead to more questions. Yet she knew they had no time to waste. "We don't know how much longer we have before the Wraitharians or other enemies come back," she said, her voice firm. "Dr. Reyes, I want you to keep studying the artifact. General Mendoza, we need teams ready to deploy as soon as we have a location." Mendoza looked at the president. "Understood, ma'am. I'll prepare the teams. We'll be ready to move when you give the order." As the room buzzed with activity, Maria found herself alone for a moment, staring at the Earth. It was strange to think that the very planet that had been their home for so long might hold the key to their future or their doom. Hours later, Dr. Reyes called Maria into the research lab. She had made a breakthrough. The artifact had unlocked a hidden pattern, something that indicated a vast, ancient energy source deep beneath the Earth's surface. It was centered around a location on the planet's largest continent. "Look at this," Dr. Reyes said, showing Maria a holographic map of the Earth. A glowing spot appeared, marking the center of the hidden force. Maria's eyes narrowed. "That's in the middle of Africa." Dr. Reyes nodded. "It's the exact location where the energy signature is strongest. But there's something strange. The readings are unlike anything we've seen before. They're ancient. This force has been here for thousands of years, waiting for the artifact to activate." Maria turned toward Mendoza, who had just entered the lab. "Get a team together," she said. "We're going there." Mendoza gave a quick nod. "I'll gather the best of the best. We'll have a team ready in hours." As the military and scientific teams prepared for the mission, the tension grew. Maria couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to uncover something that could change everything. The secret beneath the earth could be the key to saving humanity, or it could destroy them. By the time the team was ready, the mood had shifted. Every soldier knew this wasn't just another mission. It was the beginning of something far bigger than they had imagined. The journey to the site in Africa was long, but the team didn't question it. They were equipped with the best technology Earth had to offer, but they didn't know what to expect when they arrived. As they reached the location, they were greeted by an enormous cave system. The entrance was hidden by thick vines and trees, but once the team cleared the area, they found a massive stone door. The door was unlike anything they had seen. Its surface was covered in symbols, much like the artifact. "This is it," Dr. Rice said softly. "This is where the energy is coming from." The team worked together to open the door. It took all their strength and technology to break the seal, but when they finally managed to open it, a deep, powerful hum filled the air. Beyond the door was an enormous chamber, much larger than anyone had expected. In the center, a glowing sphere hovered in the air, pulsing with energy. It was the source of the power they had been sensing. The artifact's energy matched perfectly with this sphere. As the team moved forward, Maria felt a strange pull toward the glowing sphere. There was something ancient about it, something that seemed to recognize them, like it had been waiting for humanity to find it. Dr. Rice approached cautiously. This is beyond anything I could have imagined. It's not just energy. It's life. It's alive." Maria stared at the sphere, her mind racing. If this force was alive, it could have its own thoughts, its own desires. And if it had been waiting for humanity, then it might hold the answers they were looking for, or it might have its own plans. "Are we ready for this?" Maria whispered to herself. Her voice echoed in the chamber, but there was no answer. The sphere simply pulsed with energy, waiting. But Maria knew one thing for certain. Whatever came next, humanity was no longer just fighting for survival. They were about to awaken a power that could change the course of history forever. The glowing sphere hummed softly, its energy filling the chamber with an almost palpable weight. The team stood around it, awestruck by its presence. The air felt charged, as if the very atmosphere was alive with the power it contained. President Maria Alvarez, standing at the front of the group, felt her heart beat faster as she gazed at the mysterious sphere. Dr. Alina Rice was the first to speak, her voice filled with wonder and caution. "This is beyond anything we could have imagined. It's not just energy. It's a living, breathing force. But what does it want?" Maria turned toward Dr. Rice, her brow furrowed in thought. "If it's been waiting here for thousands of years, it must be important. We need to understand it before anyone else tries to claim it." General Keith Mendoza, standing nearby with his soldiers, crossed his arms and looked at the sphere with suspicion. "What if it's dangerous? We don't know what it's capable of." Maria glanced at him. "We can't back down now. We've come too far. We need to learn what this force is and why it's here." The team moved cautiously around the chamber, studying every inch of the glowing sphere. The walls of the cave were covered in the same strange symbols as the artifact, and a sense of deep history seemed to echo through the space. Whatever this was, it was far older than any civilization on Earth. Dr. Rice approached the sphere with trembling hands. "I don't know if I should touch it, but I feel like it's calling to me." Maria nodded. "You've studied the artifact for so long. If anyone can understand this, it's you." Rice hesitated for a moment, then gently reached out and placed her hand on the surface of the sphere. The moment her fingers made contact, a wave of energy surged through the room. The sphere pulsed brighter, its hum growing louder, as if awakening from a long slumber. The floor beneath them seemed to vibrate, and a rush of information flooded Dr. Rice's mind. She gasped, her body trembling. I see it," she whispered. "I see everything. The past, the future. This sphere is a key to the knowledge of an entire ancient civilization. It's been buried here for millennia, waiting for the right moment to awaken." Maria's heart raced. What knowledge? What does it want us to know? Dr. Rice's eyes were wide with shock. It's not just information. It's power. Unimaginable power. It can reshape entire worlds, bend the laws of nature. It can make us the most advanced species in the galaxy. Mendoza stepped forward, his face serious. "And what will it ask in return?" Dr. Rice blinked as she regained her composure. "That's the part I don't understand. It's as if the sphere is connected to the artifact. It wants to give us the power, but it's not clear if we're ready for it." Maria turned to the glowing sphere, feeling a strange pull in her chest. "Are we ready for it?" She muttered to herself. The decision was monumental. Before anyone could respond, a deep voice echoed through the chamber, not from any one person, but from the sphere itself. "You are the chosen ones," the voice said, calm and ancient. "You have awakened the force, and now you must decide. Will you wield it wisely, or will you let it destroy you, as it has destroyed so many before?" The voice seemed to reverberate through their very souls. No one moved, frozen by the weight of the question. General Mendoza stepped forward, his expression hardening. "What happens if we don't take the power?" The voice was patient, its tone heavy with warning. "If you refuse, the force will remain dormant, lost to your kind forever. You will return to your world, and you will forget. But the galaxy will continue, and your species will remain as it is, fragile and uncertain." Maria's thoughts raced. The galaxy had already shown them that humanity was capable of great things, but it had also shown them how easily those things could be taken away. Was the power worth the risk? Would it make them too powerful? Would it change what it meant to be human? "And if we take it?" she asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. The voice answered with a sense of finality. "You will ascend. You will lead the galaxy into a new era. But beware, with great power comes great responsibility. Your actions will shape the future of all beings, for better or worse." Dr. Rice, still trembling from her connection to the sphere, spoke softly. "It's asking us to be wise. We can't let this power fall into the wrong hands, whether it's ours or someone else's." Maria looked around at her team. She trusted them, but this decision was bigger than any of them. It was bigger than Earth itself. She took a deep breath. "We will take the power, but we will not be careless. We will use it to protect our people and help others, not to control or destroy. We will do what is right." The sphere's hum softened, almost as if it were acknowledging her choice. "The path is yours, chosen ones. Proceed with caution." With that, the energy in the chamber seemed to settle, as if the sphere had found peace with the decision. Maria stepped back, feeling a strange weight lift from her shoulders. She turned to her team. "It's time. We have a future to shape." And with that, humanity was no longer just a species surviving in a vast universe. They were about to become its most powerful force, and they would have to choose carefully how to wield it. The decision had been made. Humanity had chosen to embrace the power offered by the ancient sphere beneath the Earth. With it, they would no longer just survive in the galaxy. They would lead it. But with that power came a weighty responsibility. The entire future of Earth, and perhaps the galaxy, rested on their shoulders. The team stood in the ancient chamber, the glowing sphere now calm in the center of the room. Dr. Elena Reyes had already begun working with the artifact again, connecting it to the energy of the sphere. She had been right. The two seemed to be connected. Every symbol, every energy pulse, lined up perfectly. Now it was as if humanity had unlocked a doorway to the future. General Keith Mendoza stood next to Maria, watching as the scientists continued their work. The mood in the chamber was a mix of excitement and uncertainty. This was the first time in history that humanity was stepping into the unknown with such immense power. Maria felt it too, the weight of it all. She couldn't help but wonder if they were truly ready. What if they made a mistake? What if they used the power wrongly? But then she thought about the Retherian fleet and how close they had come to losing everything. She knew they had no choice. "We're ready," Maria said, her voice steady, but with an undertone of caution. "Dr. Reyes, how long until we can use the power to its fullest?" Dr. Reyes looked up from her work, her eyes still wide with wonder. It's almost there. The sphere is transferring the energy to the artifact. It's like the two are syncing with each other. Once it's complete, we'll have access to knowledge, technology, and power far beyond anything we've ever dreamed of." Maria nodded. "Good, but we must be careful. We must never forget why we're doing this. This power is meant to protect, not to control." Mendoza spoke up. "We're not the only ones who know about this. The Retherians may be retreating for now, but others out there will want this power. We can't let that happen." Maria's gaze hardened. "We'll be ready. Earth will not fall again." Several hours later, the synchronization between the sphere and the artifact was complete. A brilliant pulse of energy shot from the sphere, and the entire chamber lit up with a dazzling light. The power was now flowing freely, and Maria could feel it inside her, a quiet hum that seemed to resonate with every cell of her body. Dr. Reyes stepped back, breathing heavily, a look of awe and fear on her face. "It's done," she whispered. "We have it." The room was filled with a quiet reverence. The air felt different, lighter, almost as if the weight of the past had been lifted. Humanity now had the potential to reshape the future, but would they choose wisely? Maria stepped forward, placing her hand on the artifact. She could feel the knowledge of the ancient civilization pouring into her mind, not in words, but in images and emotions. She saw the rise and fall of civilizations, entire worlds being built and destroyed. She saw what happened when the power was misused, and it terrified her. The responsibility of this power was beyond anything she had ever imagined. "We need to be prepared for what comes next," Maria said, turning to Mendoza and Dr. Reyes. "This power isn't just a tool, it's a choice, and we must make the right one." Mendoza gave a firm nod. "We'll make sure the military is ready. We won't let this fall into the wrong hands." Dr. Reyes added, "And we need to be careful with the knowledge we gain. We can't let it overwhelm us." Maria took a deep breath. She knew the next steps would not be easy. The galaxy was vast, and now humanity was a player in it, one with the power to change everything. They would need to work together, with wisdom and caution, to ensure that their newfound abilities were used for good. As the team prepared to leave the chamber, a sudden communication signal came through. An encrypted message from a distant part of the galaxy. Maria's heart skipped a beat. She knew this could be the beginning of something far bigger. "Put it through," she ordered. The screen flickered, and an unfamiliar face appeared. It was another alien, this one tall and slender, with glowing skin. It looked at Maria with piercing eyes. "You have awakened the Force," the alien said, its voice calm but carrying the weight of an age-old message. "You must understand that this power is not meant to be wielded alone. The galaxy is watching. There are those who will seek to use it for their own gain. Be prepared. You are not the only ones with the knowledge of the Ancient Ones." Maria's mind raced. "Who are you?" she asked. "What do you want?" The alien's gaze seemed to soften, though its tone remained serious. "I am part of a council that watches over the ancient powers. We have been waiting for the one who would awaken it. Now that it is in your hands, you must decide how to use it. Will you bring peace, or will you bring destruction?" Before Maria could respond, the screen flickered off, leaving a heavy silence in the room. The team stood still, processing the words that had just been spoken. There was no easy answer, but Maria knew one thing. Humanity had come too far to turn back now. They had a future to build, and it would be one of their choosing. With a deep breath, Maria looked at her team. Let's get to work. The future begins today. And with that, humanity's journey into the galaxy began. A journey not as survivors, but as leaders, guided by the power of the Ancient Ones, and determined to chart their own course.